This is ridiculous. So I'm sitting up here. I'm like, blah 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 blah. I thought I pressed the live button. It's 12:33. That's an angel number. See, that's a good sign. This gonna be a good stream. JW in the background. Let me go ahead and get him up. That's who y'all ready for. So the man himself, the myth, the legend. What's good, man?
Yo, what's going on?
What's up? I'm glad you on, bro. How you doing today?
Same old, different day.
Yep,
You know,
yep.
first 5 minutes, so I can't say that word, but same old, different day.
I'll say it. But I'm glad you're up here.
Mm-hmm.
So, Watts Water. Everybody, they know you, but they don't know you. And even today, y'all, as y'all can see, this is the best I could do. It was either get the interview, Steve, or don't get the interview. And then it was like, y'all don't understand. This shit has been, well, see, there I did it. I did it. This has been months, years, really, if you want to, in the making, trying to get everything together. And finally, it was like, well, do I go over there? Do we do it like this? Like blah, 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 back and forth. And then it was this. So now we got you here for the interview. Like I said, everybody know you, but they don't know you. So same format for all the guests. Uh, Bang out the topics. You can talk about as much or as little as you would like. So, you know, same topics every person, family, hobby, plants, animals, conservation, why you do what you do. So, with
Well,
that,
you,
give an introduction. Go ahead. The floor is yours, brother.
well, you know me, man. I'm just a hobbyist. I got into this because I wanted to do it. It wasn't nothing that anybody else pushed on me. It wasn't nothing that I was forced to do because some people are actually forced to get into this hobby. But my pops had a 400-gallon man growing up, and I've always just been fascinated with water, fascinated with fish. So when I had time to get into it real heavy during the pandemic, I got back into it. I've always been into it, but during the pandemic, I really got back into it real heavy, man. I went from having one tank to having like 30. So there you go. That's pretty much
So,
how I got back into the hobby.
your pops had a 400 gallon?
A 400-gallon took up the whole wall in the dining room. So every time we ate dinner, I got to see Oscars. Uh, he had all kind of stuff in there. He had bala sharks, and these wasn't baby fish. These fish were bigger than your head. These fish was a good 12, 15, 16 inches, a good foot and a half.
What
And
else
that
do
was
you have in
pretty much.
there?
Uh, I don't remember. I remember the Oscars. Like I said, I was a kid. I remember the Oscars. I remember the bala sharks. I remember the silver dollars, and that's pretty much it. I remember the big fish. He had a few loaches, which is probably clown loaches now that I'm thinking about it. But it's vague.
But see, how does
Uh,
that feel now? How does that feel now to be an adult and you're in
to
the
be,
hobby and you can put names to these fish and they're imprinted on you, you remember them, and now you're doing it.
well, he was pretty much a monster fish keeper, and I'm the opposite of him. So I mean, what you mean as far as the recognition? How I recognize him now?
Yeah, being able to put the science behind it. Like that's the bottle of shark. That was that. That was that. 400 gallon. Like now you can really understand the badassery behind growing up with a 400 gallon in the house. That ain't
Yeah,
average.
because that it's not. It's not. My biggest tank right now is a 75, and you know, like I said, compared to a 400-gallon, 400 plus actually, Like it was a whole job. It was a whole day when he used to clean that tank. He take everything out, take all the filters out, take everything out, take all the fish out, put the fish in buckets of water, clean the whole tank, put everything back together, then put the fish back in the tank. Not how we do water changes now. You know, the science now is way different behind it. Like the little time that I had to spend with him when he came back home, we talked about the husbandry a little bit, and he was just surprised that my husbandry was so different than what he used to do back in the days.
Right. So the whole it ain't clean unless it's clean, right?
Yes. Yes, pretty much.
Something happened to your Houston Astros picture.
It's still there.
No, it's showing up white.
I don't know why.
It's irrelevant. So, like, take the Gravelite, scrub everything, wash the rocks off, the whole nine. It ain't clean unless it's clean.
Yep.
Versus if it's got algae in it, if you just swapping the water around, you lazy. You need to clean it right.
Not that you lazy. He didn't understand what was going on. I explained to him like all that is beneficial. It doesn't need to be cleaned. As long as I clean out the filters, that it's able to filtrate the water properly, everything's fine. He didn't understand the nitrogen cycle and all that.
So was he perceptive to that?
Yep.
That's dope. Like we talked about that yesterday on Fish Plenty Moss, where I was talking about being objective, like taking your emotions out of it. Because at the end of the day, ain't nobody trying to hurt nobody. We just want you to be successful, you know, and whatever it is you're trying to do, even if it's just keeping them swimming for as long as possible. So, like the fact that you were able to correlate the two and y'all was able to chop it up, that's dope. So, is that what got you going into the hobby, or what would you say?
I think him having the 400 gallons what got me into the hobby growing up.
Mm-hmm.
And then in my teenage years, hanging out with my friends, man, we used to go to the fish shop, and we just back then we were experimenting. I didn't know nothing about the nitrogen cycle. I was still on his teachings, and I had a 65 gallon. I was getting all type of fish and putting in that tank, man, and I didn't understand anything until maybe about a year later, around 18, 19, around a year later, and I started doing better. But as life persisted, I wasn't able to keep fish tanks. I was only able to keep like little small nano tanks here and there, 5 gallon tanks here and there. And then, like I said, once the pandemic hit, it hit me to where I got time, I got room. Let me get back into my hobby that I enjoyed. Because the house that I'm living in now, the house that I'm in now, I've been in for 6 years. My buddy came over here and visited. He was like, "Man, the house look nice. You got everything together, but you know what you're missing?" He said, you know what I didn't see? I said, "What?" He said, "You ain't got no fish tanks in here, man." And that's the same friend that I used to collect fish. I used to go to the fish stores with, like I said, as a teenager.
Okay.
And when he told me that, I let a good 2-3 years pass before I started getting the fish tanks again. I started with Blueval Flex 15. That was the start. Got fancy. Said, let me get a Flex. And I ran with that one for a little bit. Started breeding. Got a 10 gallon. Ran with that for a minute. Got a shrimp 10 gallon. Got another 15 gallon Flex. Got a 40 breeder. And it was all downhill from there.
You mean uphill?
Uphill. I call it downhill.
Like nothing died, right? Or like you got more and it got funner. Like I'm trying to paint a picture here for the people now.
I'm being sarcastic about it, man. It got
okay. Well, we can't see you, so like I got to give context.
I got you.
Okay, so it got better. Like you caught the bug.
Yes.
So that was during COVID, right? When you caught the bug, right?
Yes.
Now, what was the attitude towards having pets and stuff like that in general, like growing up, like to where you went crazy by the time you was grown? Like, Now you a hoarder, essentially.
Well, I believe I've always been a nurturer, man. My sister asked me that the other day. She said, I got so much plants and fish and tanks, and I take care of animals. I'm just good with animals. She's like, dude, when did you become such a nurturer? And I'm like, I thought about it. I've always been like that since I was little.
A nurturer.
Yeah. Like
That's
if I got an animal around me or a plant around me or something that's living that I can take care of, I'm gonna take care of it.
Okay, that's valid.
I'm not gonna let it die. I'm gonna try to give it its best life for the time that it got. That's what I want.
Sense. So with that, like, you the only one that have pets?
Pretty much. Well, she got 2 dogs.
Okay.
But as far as someone taking time to actually take care of pets in my family, I'm pretty much the only one.
Gotcha.
Don't get me wrong, they all love it.
Okay.
My nickname around the family is Fish Daddy.
Well, why are you gonna do that to yourself?
They call me Fish Daddy.
All right.
I had to get loosen up.
No, yeah.
You asked me to do this interview and share myself. I'm sharing myself. No homo.
so so with that, like, that's it. That's what you're rolling with. Let me do these shout outs real quick. We got the homies in here. While we over here clowning. Silver Creek, homie. Mark, what's good with you? Skull, what's up, man? Jorge, what's good? Misa, hello. Who else is in here? Skull, Ori, Lydia, hola mi amor, if you still in here. Funk, what's good, G? So, hashtag Fish Daddy. So, the hobby, right?
Yeah.
Now you're in the hobby. It's COVID. So jumping from, you gave us a history, a rundown of growing up and the family aspect of it and everything. Now, what information did you consume, and like when you was into COVID, when you got into the hobby, like what did you use to start reinforcing and building? Was it just all raw organic experience? Like, did you talk with people? Did you socialize? Did you chop it up at the fish store? Like, what kind of nerd was you? Or was it like, explain that? Like, how'd you develop your hobby?
I go down the rabbit hole, man. I talk to a lot of people. I talk to some of the best people in Houston of keeping fish in the fish stores. I went to some of the best fish stores, and that's why I frequent. I got a lot of information off of YouTube, but my biggest thing throughout the pandemic that I learned in this hobby was plants. I never kept plants, so plants was what I really went into when I got back into this hobby during the pandemic. I used to keep Lucky Bamboo, and that was it. And then I realized that you couldn't keep Lucky Bamboo fully submerged in the water. Once I learned that was as much as I knew about plants in the tank. And come the pandemic, when I got back into it, I was like, you know what? What really got me into it was, let me be honest with you, was what's the word I'm looking for? The ADG tanks, the Takashi Yamato tanks, the aquascaping tanks. Once I started seeing those, I was like, oh no, I've never had a tank like that. Let's go. I got to do it. And that's what got me back into it. Got me into having more tanks, because now I have more palettes to work with, more things that I can use my artistry with. You know what I'm saying? More canvases. Instead of having
I got you.
over and over and over again, I got some multiple tanks now I can play with.
I understand what I'm tracking. So like,
I can only do that, and I can only do that with multiple tanks when it comes to plants. I can't have 30 plants in one tank and not play with them the way I want to play with them, move them around the way I want to move them around, position them the way I want to position them.
Oh,
That's a dump. That's a money dump.
I
Nope.
understand what you're saying.
I'd rather have multiple tanks, have specific plants. Once I learn these plants, now I can position these plants in multiple tanks and have the look that I want.
Gotcha. Like that basically expose you to the fact that it is art. It could be art. It ain't just putting it in there. I mean, making it aesthetically pleasing, yeah. But now, like art, like I can express myself. Like
Every last
like
one
what
of
you're
my
saying.
tanks is living
Yeah.
art. It's always a work in progress. They never
Right.
look the
Right.
same.
Exactly. And like I can learn at the same time, and it's aesthetically pleasing at the same. It's not just a bunch of shit in there all together. You know what I'm saying? So
Pretty much.
yeah, that I'm tracking with that. So then after that, then what? Like, what honed you in? And it's questions in here. If y'all got questions, put them in the chat, and I'll slap them up, and we'll let the homie answer them. So you saw the
beauty in it.
tanks and
Yeah.
stuff like that. Then what? You did a deep dive on that. You started learning plants, like
Yep.
plant husbandry, or like what?
Everything. Plant care.
Okay.
Aquatic plants got me into terrestrial plants. I didn't keep house plants.
So when did you start doing that?
Maybe a year into the pandemic. Maybe
Okay.
about a year into the pandemic. I really, like I said, I started digging into aquatic plants, and then that got me into learning about plants, period. Which got me to terrestrial plants, which got me to keeping plants around the house, keeping plants on the patio.
Gotcha.
Basically, I turned into an old man during the pandemic.
I mean, I guess, but did you
Come on,
see
we can have that conversation.
benefits from doing it? I mean,
we can have that
I get
conversation
it.
later
It's
too,
not,
because people at our age don't usually deal
right.
with, worried about plants and aquatic plants and fish tanks. They got their priorities other places.
Right. Well, it depends. I mean, you would be surprised, and I think that goes to what you were saying. Social media is making it to where you do run across more people that you wouldn't necessarily like. If I seen you, I wouldn't necessarily strike up a conversation about the taxonomy of Posilians. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Or talk about these dracaenas right here. Like, you grew lucky bamboo. It's in the same family as this. Like, so it makes sense what you're saying. And so, like, talk about that. You don't open that element. Talk about like how culturally being in the hobby, what it's like what's your experience, what's your perspective on it, like does it affect it at all? Share some of that if you will.
Well, culturally, it's really eye-opening to a lot of people, man. You'd be surprised how many people come by and visit, and they see the tanks, they see the plants, they ask questions. I start giving them answers, and they don't know what the hell I'm telling them, but they're open to listening and understanding it and catching it. So I have to tell them in layman's terms, which is what I use. I speak in colloquialisms. That way they can understand what I'm saying, and they know how to go figure it out on their own. And then they see these words that they don't know, what I was using, but now they can figure it out. But a lot of people, like I said, in our culture, they be surprised, man, and they're very intrigued by it. I'd be surprised by that they're intrigued by it, because I'm like, damn. I didn't think you cared about these damn fish. They'll come sit in my garage and look at my endless and be like, man, what are those? What are those? Man, how long you been taking care of them? What you feed them?
Do you think
I'll
they
keep
wind
them
up
in my
getting
house.
fish?
How much it costs?
Okay.
I need to do one enough for my daughter. And these are all questions that they have in their head, and they talking to me while they just sitting here.
No, that's good, because
like, let me break down. I had one of my friends. I broke down the nitrogen cycle, and it broke it down to him. He was like, I was surprised at his response to it, because I didn't think he wanted to hear that. He sat there and listened to it. and then now everybody listens to it, and they don't look at me no different. I'm still the same old Jeff. Gonna always be.
Well, maybe it's because of the way you related to them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like I said, I try to speak in layman's terms.
Yeah, Aquafunk made a good. I mean,
What do you think?
so
Where you hear that from, Funk?
yeah,
That's what you have. That's the answer. Where you hear that from? That's the question. Where did you hear that from?
oh man, this is great. So this goes to like dialogue that we have collectively, and it's talking about being able to reinforce empirical, like black and white, like what's really there versus the colloquialisms, the feelings that I always been told, and I mean culturally, it's written where blood sports come from and who predominated in them, and I'm not going to go down there, but the empirical data proves, you know, otherwise. But it it goes to fish the same thing. Like, what do you do? Like being in the house during COVID and you see something. So it's like, okay, this is a different direction I want to go. This is a new skill I want to ascertain, if you will. I want to step my game up. What information did you use and how did you combat misinformation, if you will? Because you were saying, you really started your deep dive here a handful of years ago, but you dived in at a high level. And I've told you that before, personally in the past. Um, and it's not common, it's not normal, so share with the people, if you will, how you were able to get that, to recreate what you do, and then later on, if you are able to, you know, show some examples of your work so that people can see it. But what you use? What's your sources? And then we're gonna get into the plants themselves.
Well, I label myself a hood geek, dude. So I've learned the internet, and I've been knowing the internet since the '90s. And I just deep dive. I use Google. Use Google for everything. So I use Google to go deeper into searches to combat that. And when I say deep into the searches, I go past the fluff and get
Okay.
into the research from the schools, research from sources that I can actually trust, other than just like I say, the fluff,
Right.
the sponsored websites or the things that they throw up
I
there just to
got you.
catch your attention. I know how to
Right.
go deep into the internet and find actual information.
Okay.
I did so. I did a lot of deep dives. Hell, like I said, YouTube was just the source. YouTube was just the icing on the cake. Once you
Right.
get through that, you got to get into the grit of it, and you don't get that but from the internet, but from books. So
Right.
these were sources that I wasn't actually reading books, but I was reading the articles from these books on the internet through what? Google, the
No,
best
no,
friend.
I'm tracking, like taking your experiences and Google, vice versa, the information basically, and putting it together and developing a methodology, more or less.
And talking to I say a mutual friend of ours, Don over there at ADG.
Yeah, Don's cool, man.
I got a lot of knowledge from Don, man. He's a good one.
Walking encyclopedia, wealth of knowledge.
Wealth of knowledge when it comes to fish.
So you were able to go out and talk with hobbyists too. And what you do being new, I guess you could say, not necessarily to keeping fish, but new to this echelon of the hobby. What you do to kind of chip away at the anxiety of approaching people, because as much shit as I do talk about being objective and empirical data, I do want to be impeccable with my words and say what I mean and mean what I say.
I
I'm
mean, 'cause
talking
that's
about
never been
social media, you know? Yeah, go ahead.
that's never really been my problem, man. Like,
Yeah, you is a social cat. You a
yeah,
socializer.
if I'm around you, if you in my bubble,
Yeah,
I'm gonna get
you
your
a
attention.
socializer.
We're gonna have a conversation.
Okay, yeah.
If you got a defense up, if you got a wall up, I'm gonna easily figure out, okay, why is he so defensive, or why is she so defensive? Why did I want to talk? And I'm gonna ease my way in there, and we're gonna have a conversation about whatever it is, because that's just how I maneuver. If when I say that, meaning if I see that you're trying to engage with me, but you're still holding back, what is the reason why
Okay,
you're holding back?
I got you.
I'm a find the reason why you're holding back and try to, like I say, ease my way through it, massage it out of you, get it out of you. So now we've broken through that ice. We can have the conversation that I want to have. You can tell me what you want to tell me. A lot of times I overlook it. A
Really?
lot of times I overlook it. Yeah, I'll overlook it, and by me overlooking it, you realize, well, whatever that issue was you had, it's not an issue. So now that person can have that conversation. You understand what I mean by that?
Yeah, I'm tracking. So just being more inviting.
Yeah, yeah.
To have a friend, you got to be friendly.
I mean, that's kind of how my persona comes across on YouTube.
Yeah,
When I'm in the chats, I don't care who you got a problem with, what you got a problem with. If I like you and I'm friendly with you, and you're friendly with me, I'm gonna speak. That's just how it is.
I mean, nah,
I try, and if I'm really cool with you, I'm gonna get a report with you. I'm gonna try to
right.
always joke with you and laugh with you, say something silly.
Now, did you grow up? Did you had siblings? Can you say your other sister got a dog? So it wasn't just you.
Well, we've always had dogs as a family.
No, but I'm saying you grew up with a lot of people, so that kind of you grew up being kind of empathetic and being able to feel people and like Rob saying, breaking down barriers to get to the important talk.
Pretty
You
much.
know, I mean, you bring up a good point. So going into that, like you breaking down these barriers, you're reaching out, you're talking to people, you have found an outlet, an inspiration, if you will, to express keeping tanks in an artistic way. That brung you into plants directly. Talk about the symbiosis between the plants and the art itself, and how that's what keeps, because me and you, we like two grumpy old men, because we be talking shit, chop. And I'm like, bruh, because it's two different disciplines, but it's amazing the stuff that he able to pull off, and is so unorthodox. So tell the people like how, talk about the plants, if you will.
Well, I feel like if it can be done, it can be done.
That's you. Yeah, but
Don't tell me you can't grow in sand. I'm gonna grow it in sand.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Don't tell me I can't do this when I know it can be done. When I've done the math in my head, this can be done. That's pretty much what it boils down to. Not, like you said, not feeding through the bullshit, not listening to the bullshit, and actually using your own brains and your own research to figure out what can be done.
right.
Excuse me. And that's pretty much it.
See, like when I say unorthodox, it's the ambition. And I don't disagree with you. Like, I don't know. I used that thumbnail a long time ago of the bullfrog choking the shit out of that heron.
Yeah.
Never give up. And ambition is good, but as we have gotten older and matured, we also understand that you have to state your purpose, you have to understand it, and you have to manage your expectations accordingly. So, kind of explain how you do that. And when you had mentioned earlier, you like rocking a bunch of plants, you move them, you shake them, you put them where you want them, you tuck and pluck. So, explain that methodology to the people, like how you make the whole thing move around.
All right, so if I understand that question correctly, man, I say for instance, my red crib that I planted.
Yeah.
Before that crib was there, I had red tiger lotus there. That crib took over and took that red tiger lotus and pretty much killed it. Now, what made me put that red crib there was the red tiger lotus. The red tiger lotus was a nice color where it was at in the plant in the tank. It took up a nice area in that plant. So I said, let me plant another red plant, right in front of it, thinking it would accent it.
Gotcha.
Not knowing that red undulata grows huge.
Yeah.
And it took over the whole side of the 75 gallon. And by doing that, it pretty much took over all of the substrate, which knocked out the red tiger lotus. So what do I do now? I know that either one of those plants where I want to put it in another tank can do good, but they won't be grouped together. I have to put them by themselves. I'll never be able to put another red plant next to that crypt because that crypt is going to eat it up. When I say that crypt takes up the whole bottom of that tank, there's nothing I can put next to that crypt. Maybe in a different type of substrate I can, but I haven't grown in sand. So those are things that I learned, like I said, by doing the things that I do in my tanks. And I know I probably went all off the question.
No, you didn't.
And utilizing things in my tanks.
No, actually, you nailed it. Because
that's kind of one example.
Understanding that you can be as ambitious as you want, as long as you understand these are living things, they're gonna do what they do.
Yeah, the limits and the limits.
Exactly. You explained it perfectly. And it was to where obviously you could put some red plants there, but it ain't gonna do what you wanted to do to express the art you want.
Yep.
So you nailed it, G. Dead ass. So
yep. But a lot of these things, a lot of these, even though, like I said, it's living art too.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of these things that we all do in this hobby is experiments.
Right.
I'll give you an example. I'm sitting out in my garage now, looking at my inner tank.
Okay.
When we had this conversation, I started off with 3 different valves, and I told you we had this conversation. I said we're gonna see at the end of it which one's gonna prevail, because it's gonna be warfare underneath that substrate with the roots.
Right.
And we finally got to the bottom of it. Which one prevailed?
Well, I mean, I know which one. Tell the people.
The straight valve. It wasn't a corkscrew.
What you have in there? Asiatica, Spiralis, and what's the other one you had in there?
I think that was it. It wasn't Americana. It was just a regular. It was a smaller one.
You had Torta, corkscrew. You didn't have Jungle Val in there, did you?
No, the Jungle Val's in the 75.
Well, you said you had 3. That's why we arguing about it now on the internet. Move on to the next one. We'll argue about it tomorrow or on the phone after the stream, because it's gonna be a long ass argument. Remember? See,
it's sitting in the garage. It's sitting in the garage right here next to it. Take a look at
it. Hold on. Let me remember, because the Asiatica for shit show, and then the Spiralis is in there. But then there's that other one. Remember?
It's 3. Camera.
Mm-hmm. Well, we'll show it at the end. So this right here is a little snippet. It wasn't even supposed to be like, but this how we do. And we talking about plants, we talking about hobby, we talked about family already. The connections, right? Like Rob throwing some jumps up here. You know, like there ain't no such thing. So, like, you know, I'm a veteran. We be having all these acronyms and shit. FAIL stands for first attempt in learning.
Pretty much.
Dead ass. So it's win-win depending on what your mindset is. But there's nuances to that. And that's why we talk about ethics, responsibility, purpose, all that stuff. And I like the analogy you just used with the cryptocurrency. And
But
talked
it's
about
not failure.
plant war.
It's,
Go
it's
ahead.
not failure. It's not failure when you're doing science.
Right. Yeah. I mean,
you're trying to figure it out. You're observing. You know, you're doing all these things to figure things out. It's not failure.
Yeah, your goal wasn't destruction. Right.
Yeah.
It wasn't destruction, it wasn't malice. You wasn't trying to fuck it off on purpose for views and stuff. But we're not even gonna get on that frequency. We're actually having a rather nice conversation. So you was talking about the plant war.
Yeah.
And how do you get into these different nerdy things? Like, how do you come across this stuff? And y'all, if y'all know what he's talking about allelopathy, where they, you know, release different chemicals and fight. It's amazing. It's like Avatar. I'm trying to tell you they're alive. But that kind of stuff, like, what sparked your interest about that kind of stuff and make you go down rabbit holes? Because that's what it is.
YouTube, Google. Back to the same 2 things. YouTube and Google.
So,
Negro, if it wasn't for YouTube, I would have never ran across you.
Yeah, that's true.
I probably would have seen you in ADG sooner or later.
No, you wouldn't. Well,
60. Somewhere in the hobby.
Yeah, maybe. Rarely. If I do go to the hell, I rarely go outside. And now that we got ditches and stuff, I don't even think I need to go to the pet store anymore. I mean, speaking of that,
that's a whole nother conversation.
Well, we're gonna have it. We're talking about plants and your different fish. Tell the people some of the different kind of fish that you do keep currently, or that you have kept. Some of the ones that stand out, some of the ones that you've been successful with. And what I really want to get into is the breeding. And for y'all that don't know, and I did this on purpose, for him to give the background that he just gave y'all, if y'all could see some of the stuff that he has been able to breed successfully, it's mind-blowing. And we Houstonians, you know, iron sharpens iron. We talk shit. And I'm like, look, man, if the fish comfortable and you feed them, they gonna smash. But you ain't bred shit till you can raise them damn puppies up and, you know, do what you will. I'm not gonna say sell them because we're not here for that. But, you know, we were talking shit. And he was like, yeah, I agree. And so talk about that. Like, share some of the stuff you bred and how.
I mean, I do sell them, but I don't sell them per se as people might think. I sell them back to the fish store to put them back into the hobby so other hobbyists have a chance to get them. So
That's why I left it that way. I mean, you make them benefit you. That's what I should have said. Make, when you raise those puppies up and then turn them back into making them benefit. Turn them into some fish food or a new fish that you want. So share some of the different species that you've been able to breed. Some of the ones that I was like, what the hell?
All right, so the one that really got me back into breeding, man, that got me into breeding was peacock gudgeon.
Do you have those gudgeons?
Not anymore. I don't have any at the moment. But that's really what got me into it. And I did a lot of research, found out how to breed them, bred them, was successful at breeding them. And I was like, if I can breed these, I can breed them to anything.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like,
that's what I said, Renee.
I had my mistakes. I tried German blue rams after that.
Yeah.
I realized that I like to keep my fish in tap water, dechlorinated tap water. It's easy. Okay. I got a lot of tanks. I can deal with it better that way. I age my water. But what I didn't realize was, you want to breed German blue rams, you need a little cleaner water than our hard city water here in Houston.
Okay.
So after I made a mistake with those, I was like, I'm not breeding anything that can't deal with our water. I stopped keeping saltwater fish. I stopped keeping any type of fish that couldn't live in our water.
Okay.
Our city water. So from there, I went to keeping a lot of Tanganyikans. I like Tanganyikans. Started breeding Tanganyikans. Pretty much anything that I started keeping, I just kept them in a natural environment and kept them in a place where they can breed, and they bred in their own. But I went into the ambition with buying them to breed them. If I buy these fish, I want to breed them. If I buy these fish, I want to buy a pair. Let me see if I can breed them. Oh, I can breed them. Okay, now my pair turned into 12. You multiply. Now I done raised them up. Okay, so these want to breed now. So now I breed these. Okay, let me share them out with people.
Right.
That's just how I see it.
I'm laughing because it goes back to what you said earlier when the sister was like, you a nurturer, and then I'm laughing because I was roasting you that one time where I was like, that's your benchmark of success. Like, that's how you got 100 on the test. You understand this, like, you done made them so comfortable, you done fed them good, they done humped and had babies. Man, look, I mean, hell, if that's a mark of success, that's a damn good one. Shit, I mean, that's what you want. They having babies. I can't tell you. I mean, how happy do you have to be? You know what I'm saying? It don't get no happier than that. Yeah, exactly. So you started.
The next generation can live on. That means they feel like the next generation can live on.
Right. And that's what I was going into is, so you started adapting what you were doing so you could keep tanking, not trying to keep killing fish. You figured it out. Like, hey, I'm not willing to invest in taking the steps to keep these some bitches in the water we got. I like tap water. This is what's comfortable for me. That's perfectly fine. So let me do the research, do the leg work, and keep these fish, see how they do, and go from there.
That just makes sense.
I mean, I'm sorry, but it does.
Keep it simple, stupid.
I mean, shit, maybe we just country as fuck. Us Texans,
like, Why? It just makes sense. Like, if I had a saltwater tank and I was keeping salt water, that makes a lot of sense. There ain't no salt water coming out my tap.
Right.
But I have water coming out my tap every day, all day, that I pay for.
Yeah. I mean, we drink it, we bathe in it. Well, we don't drink it. Well, It's a toss up. I mean,
I don't drink it.
I'm not opposed to turning
But I
on
make
the
ice
tap
out of
and
it.
taking some pills real fast. I'm not finna
I
waste
mean,
my.
we kind of
I'm
do drink it. I use it to make ice cubes.
exactly. I mean, sometimes I'm
But to
putting
make
the
a long
Keurig.
story short,
It's got a
it's good
filter.
enough to be dechlorinated,
Yeah.
set up for a day or two, and then put in the tank.
Right.
That's my methods, which is another method that I've learned over time. Is a good way to get fish to breathe. You know, use old water. Don't use no fresh water straight out the tap.
Okay. Now, did you come across that from serendipity? Meaning,
Yep.
since you treating the water, storing it, you noticed that as soon as you did a water change with that old water versus a new batch you had just did, like it's kind of explain how you correlated all that together.
Over
Substantiate it.
over experience and having conversations with hobbyists and them asking me what my secret was and them telling them what I do and them telling
Okay.
me, well, you know, when once we have that conversation, they light bulb going off and being like, that's your secret.
That sounds like
You
a peer
you
review to me.
pretty much.
Damn
So
near. I mean, minus the research funding in the exotic countries. I mean, shit. That sounds like a peer review to me, Jack. It's like, so you didn't even know what you was doing, and then you bounce it off of people with some weight behind the game, some skin in the game, and
well, it's
kept,
not that.
yeah, that's good shit.
It's not that. That was just the reinforcement.
Right, right, right. And then you kept doing it, and it was like, ahas kept
Like I
happening.
said, yeah, like I said, over time, experience, just learning, just keeping fish. You learn that. Hell, I've done water changes straight out the tap with the water dechlorinated, and
Yeah,
I put it in a bucket, and fish died
yeah,
instantly. Like I don't know why they died without water. So with that being said, by me aging the water, just over time, experiencing how the fish react, it was something that I did, and I learned that they like this water. They breathe in this water.
right,
They don't want fresh water. They wanted to be off gassing.
right.
Something I learned, like I said, over time during the pandemic. These are all things that I learned that I just use.
Gotcha, gotcha. So we're talking about water anyway,
Hmm.
and that we can go into conservation with that. Like during the pandemic, learning about water through the fish, the off gassing. Like we do live in Houston, they use chloramines here too. So like all these different chemicals. Like if it rains, uh if it's a drought, like now, like what's the concentration of whatever in the
Hmm.
chemical? Yeah, we live in the city, so knowing that, like, has it changed the way you look at water or just how you move in general in regards to the impact that it have on outside?
Yeah, yeah, but what can we do about it?
I mean, yeah,
By the time it comes out,
there's a
like I
lot.
said, it being for what we use it for in the hobby, for what I
Right.
use it for in the hobby, dechlorinating it, putting it in the tank, and then once I take it out, using it, to feed my plants to water my plants.
Okay.
That's a totally different thing. I'm not putting it back into the system per se. And as far as what they're doing, sprinkler systems, shit like that, I can't do nothing about that. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? I can't do nothing about it. That is what it is. We just got messed up water.
Yeah.
I do my due diligence, like I said, by recycling it, by putting it back into it's by the time it gets filtered through our tanks, dude, all of that, you ain't got to worry about none of that.
Oh, I mean, I use, yeah, my plants is on a steady tank water diet. No water get,
Mm-hmm.
bro. You know how we don't waste water. Like he'll be like, "Oh, just chunk it in the yard." I'm like, "Nah, bro, I gotta find a plant. I don't give a damn. It could be water don't get wasted. Like it's not getting chunked. So like, has the hobby affected daily actions like chemicals you use, like
Oh yeah, hell yeah,
washing dishes, like every household activities, you feel me?
yeah.
And if so, how?
I mean, shit. It's simple, simple thing. Today, I know I'm finna play in my tanks. I don't put no lotion on.
Bro, I be doing that. I be ashy as fuck. Everybody be looking at me so bad. Like, y'all don't understand the struggle we go through. In the bruh. Look like you know been in there fighting a sack of flour, in there cleaning the chimney or some shit. And
No, not too much aerosol sprays because I got two little tanks, so not too much aerosol sprays. You know what I'm saying?
right,
And that's
man,
pretty
I'm the
much it.
same way. Uber paranoid.
I use a lot
Uber
of natural
paranoid.
cleaning shit, a lot of tea tree oil cleaning products. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
you gotta be cool with that too. Well, not so much the I'm saying just the essential oils in general, because people
Mm-hmm.
say natural. Well, clove oil off your fish now. So it's gonna be Thanksgiving. It's about to be pumpkin spice season, damn it. Y'all chill out with that clove oil. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, so it changed up. It changed up a few things because, like I said, that's pretty much it.
Okay. Um, so the
But I think
people
that's what I
oh,
think.
go
I
ahead.
think I think that's give or take with any pets you got. Because when you
Right,
got dogs and cats, it's certain plants you can't have around them. It's certain things you
right,
can't have around them that they can't eat, and they
right.
eat and get into everything. So
Oh, trust me, I know.
I feel like it's give or take for any animals you keeping as a hobby.
But I
And I don't
think
care.
like
I don't care if people
oh,
say they dog or they dog is their family member. It's still a hobby. That's a hobby.
uh bro, you gonna
You're,
piss a lot of people off saying this shit. They dogs
you're
like
a
they
pet keeper.
kids, bro.
Mine are too, but it's still a hobby. You're still a pet keeper.
I understand what you're saying is the hobby part being educating yourself and understanding that just because you love flu or fuff, that don't mean that this plant that's
You
loaded with this oxalic acid ain't gonna kill the shit out his ass.
you
Track it.
bought or was gifted or found that animal.
You're right. It's your responsibility to give it a safe environment.
You are a pet keeper.
Right. Yeah. I mean, so that mean your kids a hobby?
No, nigga.
I'm just saying, bro. Oh shit. So,
You have to
so
bleep that.
I don't care. So going into conservation,
I got you
um,
comfortable.
yeah, I know. That's the whole point of this, having a conversation, like a serious but welcoming at the same time. So, like, if y'all been following us on Instagram, we we like natives. On Fish Plants and Moss, we've been doing it, but you recently have been into natives. Did you keep any
Any of the
when you were
natives?
younger, or did you just start? What's the story with the natives? Let's talk about it.
Man, the natives is something new.
Okay,
Anytime I went fishing as a kid was to eat.
right.
Yeah, the natives is something new.
Okay,
I lived in Florida for a couple of years, and a lot
Florida.
of my friends in Florida used to keep octopus. They used to keep crabs. They used to keep everything they used to catch and keep them in tanks. But like I said, that was is a different it's a different story when you got salt water right there in your backyard.
Right.
And like we don't even have, like I said, no rainwater. We ain't got no rivers, nothing close by us where we can get water. They got bays right in their backyard.
Damn. Yeah.
Um, so I never got into it, but I used to see other people keep them, and I used to enjoy watching them keep them. I never kept any.
So what triggered you? Was it the same thing with the plants? Something you saw, it inspired you, and then you took a deep dive. Because like I'm seeing the correlation. Tommy said the same thing. He sees something, he don't half-ass it. Mark said the same thing. He sees something, he don't half-ass it. I don't know if it's a Texas thing, if it's a fish tank thing, if it's a nerd thing. I don't know. But what got you to jump into this to where now we over here arguing about who had what and what scoop when we divvying up the spoil? I'm gonna post that video, by the way.
Oh man. I think that was just progression in the hobby, man. Like I'm even on YouTube.
Right.
Cold water aquatics.
Mm-hmm.
They keep a lot of natives. Most of what they keep is native. They go out and catch it, and I like watching they videos, and they really got me into it. And then just learning that I can just go in my backyard right here in the ditch and catch something and actually put it in the tank, and it thrives, and I can keep it alive with the same plants that's out there in that water. It was just I got a different way of going fishing now. I don't got to go fishing and catch fish to eat. I can go fishing and catch them and put them in my tank.
Okay, and now what fish got you going really? That you saw.
As far as what?
Like curious about natives. Did you see a fish in a store? Anything like that?
No, not really. I really just well, it's not native to us.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. But just native fish in general to North America.
Pygmy sunfish.
Okay. The Gilberti. Okay.
Yeah, pygmy sunfish.
Yeah, it's usually those are usually the the gateway drugs when it comes to native fish is the Elisoma, the rainbow shiner also. What's the other species? Y'all help me out in the comments. What's the other one? Like the top.
Before. I've had the rainbow shiners. I've had.
Yeah. It's that handful that. Oh, that's awesome. What kind of fish is that? They see it on a reel on TikTok or something, and then they go looking it up, and that's native, and that's a wrap. They in there. They holding up the left turn lane, looking in the ditch and shit, trying to see what plants they can get, if it's some fish in there. Darters, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's another one, but that's the problem with anything else. All the fish that I like, all the natives that I like, are not usually typical ones. Like the darters,
mm-hmm.
It's not a typical fish. You can't find them anywhere. You have to actually go and search for these fish. Like
right.
The rainbow darters or the green striped darters. We got the green stripes.
Mm-hmm. If
I can get any of those, I'll be happy.
I always say, like, them ain't having fish.
I know.
Them ain't having fish. You gotta like get ready for those, and you have to seek them.
I don't have no tank prepared for them.
Right, but to me, it's cool to watch the natural progression do what it do. Right,
mm-hmm.
The way you move anyway. It was only a matter of time before you ended up with natives in the first place, simply because the way you research, you understand the limitations, but you don't curtail your ambition. You act accordingly. So all these different methodologies, it goes with keeping natives. You got to understand them. You got to do what they want. They're not decoration, basically. So to me, just the natural progression of it, I think it's cool that it happened that way. That's pretty much everybody's story, nuts and bolts, minus personal nuances is we like it. We like the environment. We like looking at the synergy of it, bringing everything together. The cause and effect, we all ADD babies, you know what I'm saying? Well, shit, if I sprinkle a little bit of this in there and it bubble, what'll happen if I put a lot in there, put a top on it, shake it, and then throw it, And then you get your ass beat because, they got to stop watching Dynasty or Victor and them and take you to the hospital. So it's that natural, that curiosity that we have. So it was only a matter of time for you ended up on natives.
But then, like I said too,
Yeah.
getting into it, going down the YouTube rabbit hole. I ran across
Okay.
a YouTube page where that's all they did, and I enjoyed it. You know, anything that make me look, I ain't getting no younger, man. Anything that make me put a smile on my face, I'm gonna indulge in.
Facts.
So once I
So
started to enjoy it, I felt like I'd enjoy it if I go out there and do it. Hell, I enjoyed it when I went fishing all my life. Why would I not enjoy doing this part of the hobby just differently? So I go out
right.
there and I get it done. And then, like I said, uh, I'm kind of to myself, man, when it comes to stuff like that. So you know me, Steve. I go out there and do it and have fun and enjoy myself. And I don't have to have no camera. I don't have no phone. I really
Right.
don't,
Right.
because it's not
So
that I don't want. It's not that I don't want to share. It's just that that's never been a part of me and how I move. And I just go out there and get it done, and I just enjoy life.
ain't nothing wrong with that. I mean, that's the whole point of it. So what
I
made
mean,
you
when it
take the
comes
deep dive to go start getting them? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Go and get it done. What was it like? Because
access,
okay, tell us some of the places, and then because we're getting ready to go on time. If you are able to, for everybody that done rock with us this long, show us a few tanks, bro. Just let them lay their eyes on something that you got that you feel. I know you secretive, bruh. You worse than me, but not really. We the same. We this is our art. That's passion. Like as men, we guard preciously what we love. So appreciate you, Rob. So like I get it. You don't have to explain it to me, but yeah, show us some stuff here in a little bit. But where you went to first? Like what ditches and stuff, and what did you get? And on from there.
well, places I pull up to. Shoot, I pull up in the parking lot and I see some water next to it, and that water look clean, and it look like it got fish in it. And I got a bucket and I got a net in my trunk. So what you think I'm gonna do? I got time.
I mean, yeah,
If I had a fishing pole on the rod and I was sitting in there and I like it look like it's fish in that water.
right,
Let me see what I can catch. Same difference. Like I said, this time I'm not fishing for sport. I'm not fishing to eat. This time I'm fishing to see what's in the environment. What can I
right.
what can I what can I actually keep? What can I actually observe? And just see their reaction. See how they eat. See how they act in the tank. How they. I'm gonna lose my tank up.
No, I'm tracking. I had an epiphany because I keep laughing because your sister was roasting you about being nurturing, but I think that drives you wanting to educate yourself as much as possible because you don't want to kill nothing. You don't want to fuck nothing off.
No, I
So
don't.
you'll rather wait because you ambitious. You know when you want it, you're gonna pull the damn trigger. But you've learned no, that's not necessarily the way. A, it's expensive. B, it's just wrong. C, I actually want them. I want them. So like all of it goes together. And what I'm doing for the viewers is, like I told y'all when they came up when we started, everybody know who you are, but they don't know you. You know what I'm saying? Like so,
I mean, they still
it
kind of getting
ties
the
together.
political. They still kind of getting the politically correct version, but they getting a good version of it. This is how they need to know.
Yeah, no, and that's what I'm saying. So where it's like
Because if they got the real me, you see how we talk. I'm a
by
different
you
word
doing this, other
salad.
people, but see exactly by you doing this, other people can listen and say, man, they say the same shit about me. I'm nurturing too. I ain't no punk though. But yeah, I ain't
No,
trying to
never
fuck
that.
nothing off. They innocent. I hate bullies. Like,
Yeah, never that.
so it's good to share this kind of stuff and let people pick and take from it what they can because the hobby is more than just flexing your tanks. Like, who are the people behind it? What is the methodology to the madness? Like, how are we so crazy. Like the homies say, I like rocks. You know what
And
I'm
I'm
saying?
and I'm gonna try and I'm gonna try you some, I'm gonna try you some, show you something that could be considered flex, but none of these are flexing, man. These are
It
just
ain't
my
flexing.
personal thing.
This is for the
These are just
people,
work in
man.
progress. Well, I'm gonna try to show you the best looking one, but I gotta show you the garage tank. The garage tank is just this is the one that I sit out here that I smoke to.
Bro, just show a tank. There, you got the look. You got it.
This is the garage inlet tank.
There you go. Hey, that looks good. Nah,
This is just a 20 long that's sitting next to me in the garage.
tell them
I
what
take
kind of fish you got in there.
LT grades. More or less a breeding tank. I pull the males out. The males got their own tank. They got their prison tank. I call it a prison tank because there's no females in it.
If you want to give a rundown of what plants you got in there. I know what you got. It's an AR.
ARs were newly planted out of a overgrown tank that I took them out of. They were just newly planted. This one been in there for a while. That one kind of got a nice, got a nice little foot in front of that ornament. That is Lympnophilia aromatica mini.
Mm-hmm.
Next to that is
Man, hygro, Anna. You put hygro in there? Where'd that come from?
That's a piece of compactor. It'll compact.
That's a cool view right there, boy.
And a little red tiger lotus back there. That's gonna pop up soon.
So you got some frog been in there.
Mm-hmm. And that's the valve that took over. You know, remember at one point this whole tank was full of valve. Nothing else was in here but valve. It wasn't an ornament. It wasn't none of these plants here. That ornament wasn't even in there.
Right.
Nothing but valve. All right, next tank.
And those are structures for the. You had some shrimp in there too, yeah?
No, that tank don't have shrimp. That tank just has snails. No scrimp. And no, I didn't clean out any of my tanks. These are all as they are.
It's totally fine. Everybody been waiting to see. So what you got right here?
This is the Miller tank. It's the prison tank. So I take all the male endlers out, and they come in this tank.
Man, we were supposed to trade a long time ago.
And it's a lot more in there. They just ain't been fed. They ready to be fed.
They looking good, man. That looks real good. Tell them your setup, bro. What you running right there?
15-gallon Fluval Flex. Got no plants on it.
Nice pothos.
Mm-hmm.
What else you got in there with them?
Little 3-gallon bowl next to here.
Okay.
No filter bowl. Got some least killies in there. Some red cherry shrimps. This was just redone. They had crayfish in there. I took the crayfish out. Crayfish was making too much of a mess. I got those all throughout the house.
Would you have those virginalis crayfish in there?
Macromelps.
Okay.
All right, I guess this is another mess of a tank, but I like it. This tank only gets top offs. It was originally a shrimp tank. Then this turned into an LT grade tank. So this is another LT grade breeding tank. They pretty much
these are the LT grade endlers. Little fat.
And as y'all can see, I don't trim nothing down. I let it.
Oh no, we lost you there real quick.
I'm back up.
All right.
Open it up.
Yeah, I got you, brother.
My tablet probably getting hot.
There you go.
So you can't see it, but right behind there, it's supposed to be Pink Flamingo Crib.
That, bro, don't get me started.
Oh, I have one. I have one in there. There's one right there.
Okay. There's that sub water tank in there, yeah.
Yes, it takes
winning
over.
the war.
It takes over. It takes over all of them.
What else you got in there? Bacopa? Is that Rotala right there in the front?
Yeah, I'm gonna go back over. That's Rotala. That was beautiful, but I always chop it down and it gets bushier and bushier. Because, like I said, I don't like to kill nothing.
Yeah, tell them now. You a hacker. You like to hack.
I got some Bacopa in here. It's full of duckweed, full of snails. I got a 20-gallon sponge filter back there.
But not just right there.
Yeah.
Okay. And guppy grass.
Yep. And that's pretty much it.
I gotta give you some of that Guadalupe. It looks good.
Oh, I like to do this a lot. Got this done in a lot of tanks. That is Nano Petite Anubis. I stick them in my cubes and then I plant the cubes so the roots don't get actually root rotted.
Okay. How you like those? So you got Nano Petite Pinto right there?
Yeah.
And the camera ain't doing it no justice, y'all. But it looks really good. And tell the people, because you know everybody going, oh, you low tech, high tech. Tell them, bro, you just said it. Keep it simple, stupid. But you tell them how you run your tank.
Everything's pretty much low tech. I don't do too much to them. When need be, when I know the nitrates are high, I know my tanks, I know my water, I know my bio. I do water changes, but for the most part, top offs.
Okay. And for the curious people, this is the question, everybody. You got those beautiful red plants popping up against that limnophilia. That alternanthera's growing its ass off. You're not running CO2. And what about the light? How are you getting that red? Are you doing anything special with that light, or it's in the garage? So is it a baby? Are you making love to it, or what you doing?
No, I just figure out the spectrum, the light spectrum that I need for that tank, and I run it on the cycle. I run it on the Wi-Fi cycle.
You just running a standard accessible light that you can get anywhere?
Pretty much. I use a lot of Hygger lights. That one idea is I think not an Aquaneat. Beams work.
Okay, beams work.
The one that's in the garage. I actually want it off of YouTube.
I got a beams work on the ecosystem.
Yeah, but I try to use full spectrum lights. But the top fins that I have with just the white lights, they do pretty decent.
Yeah. So you just got run-of-the-mill lights. Ain't nothing special. You just put a light on that damn thing.
This is the top fin kit right here.
Let me see it.
And then, like I said, this is just a hodgepodge tank. I don't expect too much of it. It's beautiful to me. It's living artwork. Bam.
What are you talking about? That's one of the flyest one. Look at that Bobitis, bro. I was hoping you showed that one. I didn't want to put you on the spot. Y'all look at that. Frost at the back, everything. I gave him all kind of shit because I told him he was stuck in the 70s, Miami Vice and shit. Everything white. I love it though, bro. I love it. Show them what fish you got in there, G. Look at those Florida, man.
Are those eggs? Did they make eggs on the glass? I got corridors in there. Orange Venezuelas.
Oh, look at them.
There's about 12 of them in there, maybe more. They always breeding them. I went out again.
No, you good. I got you.
Pea puffer.
Oh, this is the homie. Man, that Java fern looks immaculate, bro. No spots.
Same thing. Stuck it in the shrimp cube.
Yep. And you got that Bobitis growing. It's looking good, man.
It can do better, but like I said, I let everything Let everything do its thing. I got a few pieces that I just threw in there.
No, it'll you know, it
But
grows.
it's
You know.
same tank I was telling you about. Same thing. I had 3 different valves in there. You can see which valve won the war.
Mm-hmm.
It's very little curly valve in there.
Man, I like that. I like that style, bro. Like low tech, but it's art, and it just look clean, bro.
They got some of my house plants. This one I'm trying to bring back. Not doing too good, but it's getting there.
What was that? A Palea? What is that?
Peperonia.
A peperomia?
Yeah. I just got these from you.
Oh yeah, that's the mini. Yep.
The mini Dracaena.
Yeah. It looks. That's the Tradescantia, the Wandering.
Lake tank and Meekin tank.
Yeah, the Tangy tank goes, bro.
Gold ocellatus.
Hey, take a close up of that zebra stone you got in there. There's you know, a lot of people don't know what zebra stone really is and how to you know make it go.
Can you see that? Did I zoom in? Am I zooming in? Is it
no, good? That's perfect, bro. That little little homie, the Lampro's trying to come in the shot at the top.
They breeding here too. Yeah, they breed. I had started out with 2.
And then a little Shelly at the front.
Believe it or not, the Brashardite kept their babies, kept their fry safe from everybody else until they got sizable.
Oh, that's the Brashardis that hijacked the Shelly babies?
No, the Neo-Lamprologus babies.
Oh, no shit.
I mean, no, not the Lamprologus, the
No, you got Julie in there too?
Yeah, 2 of them in there.
See, you holding out on us, bro.
They mean. They're 2 females. They always fighting. I got a gold ocellatus in there.
Look at them.
She had to come out the breeding tank.
Okay.
These are a pair of multifasciatus that got bullied out of the breeding tank. So they got.
I like how you took advantage of that wind of love and stuck it in there with the sand and the hard water just to make it an accent. And them cichlids and them plants, and you literally growing cichlids, and it's been like that forever.
Well, remember, I had a big plant in the middle of it.
Would you have a crenum?
No, was it? The crenum, that big crenum.
You had a Calamus stratum in there.
Yeah, it was planted. They were potted.
Yeah, you had it in that.
And it did good. Pot. And it did good, but it got so big, and I liked it better than the 40, so I put it in the 40. All right, breeding tanks. Now we're going to the breeding tank. All right, people. I just fed them, so don't talk about my snail cultures.
I ain't worried about it.
This is a 10-gallon. That's full of gold ocellatus fry.
Yeah, look how damn fry down there. Okay.
They're that big. It's been about 4 months. They grow slow. They go to mama.
Those actually do look good.
They say you should take the daddy out, but he's been actually raising them pretty nicely. He's been taking care of them.
You know, fry, they graze on that algae.
Even he keeps the fry.
Okay.
You know, it's on a. They graze on the fish food I feed them. Yeah, they don't graze on the algae. And that's in a little 10-gallon edge. That's in a little 10-gallon tank. Let me go back to it.
Okay.
That's a little 10-gallon tank.
Oh, that's an edge. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm a hoarder. It's in my bathroom. Don't tell nobody.
Yeah. Bro, you're a hoarder, bro. I ain't got that bad yet, bro. I've been doing good to keep it contained to the living room. I mean, I got some shit in room, but they in rooms. Shit, I don't want to move to the kitchen yet.
Uh-oh. Wrong button. The 5-gallon guppy tank.
Nice.
They're breeding. A lot of bluegrass guppies.
Bluegrass, baby. What you got in there
No,
for plants? Is that Rappins? What is that down there? I can't see it.
Crip Lutea, I believe.
Is that Lutea?
A Lucens. It's a slow growing Crip. I put both of them in there. I think it's Lutea on the left in the front and Lucens to the right.
I don't remember which ones.
Uh,
I have both.
a little, I believe that's a little dwarf hill grass back there.
Okay.
Can't remember the scientific name.
What, the minima?
No, the hair grass in the back.
Yeah. Those three?
Yeah. They trying to run. They don't catch. They trying to run. They ain't really running. That's not
Eliocaris. That looks like pygmy chain, bro.
Okay, that's what it is. It's trying to catch, but it ain't catch yet. It's setting runners out, but
I got a lot of puppies, man. I got you.
The small rainbow sword.
Yeah, that looks good.
Dwarf rainbow sword. It's not too much bigger than that. I got one in the 75 that's not too much bigger than that.
Yeah, that's that rose. And this nice.
Java Moss and Sawasatang, they caught onto the rocks. It catches on to the filter too. I let it sit. I don't bother.
Those guppies look good, man. Well fed.
A little hornwort in there for the babies to hide in. It was for the shrimps, but the guppies ate up all the shrimps. Sorry.
You got any more tanks with red plants in them for the people, just to show them like you don't do nothing special, but you got some dope looking joints
with red plants?
Yeah, with some pop in it. Since you're already up there.
Oh man, I'm gonna have to show this whole goddamn section.
Yep, pretty much. You're welcome.
Hold on. Let me make room. You ain't gonna be able to see them because I got other stuff in front of them. So these are my overgrown. These are. Oh, I got the 3 gallon with my endless in it. I mean my least killifish. Okay, so this was red. This whole tank was red. This is a little 3 gallon with endless in it. I mean least killifish. This whole tank was red. It was full of that red Rotala. Until I decided to put that on top.
That's my fault.
Now it's not red anymore.
I didn't know you was gonna put it in there.
I put it everywhere.
That's magenta?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Macranda. That looks good. Did you hack it?
No.
It still looks good like that though. Dead ass.
No, but that's the 3 gallon. It's taking up almost the whole 3 gallon.
Yeah, that's nice, bro.
That one has a filter in it.
Yeah, all you gotta do is thin.
That looks dope like that. Without putting it back.
Man, that's as above, so below. Like with the roots, everything. That was fly.
Has my neons in it and never comes out. You there?
And some more limnophilia right there at the front.
Mm-hmm.
So like there's a different growth form on that joint.
Well,
it does smell good.
I just pulled the whole plant out of the right side. The whole front was covered. I just pulled the whole plant out the right side.
Okay.
I mean, I can show you different growth forms of this too.
That's loaded with reds. Those ram's horns look good, man.
Yeah, but I can show you different growth forms of that too. I got some of that. Sawasatang, man. When I tell you, it looks like it's badass. I'll show it to you.
And people argue with me to like forever that it's different plant. No, it's just different growth forms.
So the red is back there. You can't see it.
Because
this is an overgrown tank.
No, it's still
plants. Like I said, once I find plants, I rearrange them to how I want them.
Right.
To fit my viewing. You can't see it, but I got a lot of arc down there. Damn. Got too much reflection. You see everything within the house. Hold on.
What you got down there?
Hold on.
Pause.
You can see.
What?
I need to stop this reflection. There's too much reflection in here. Maybe
Might
that'd be a
just
little bit better.
turn off the lights or something.
Yeah. And sit my ass down. All right, here we go. A little
That was
bit.
way better. That was way better, bro.
I got about 10 Black Phantoms in there.
Yeah, he look good too.
That is not Arky Water. I think that is that Arky Water.
That needle leaf Louis.
No, it's Arky Water. What's
It's
that?
still Louis. It's just the store name.
Yeah. That started from a small shrimp cube with Christmas moss in it. Now I took up half the tank.
That's all moss, bro.
Yeah, from one of them little small shrimp cubes.
Yeah. That look dope like that. Don't make it mad. It look cool though. Man, P82s, those look good. So see, you didn't even say nothing about the killifish that you keep.
This is one of them.
Look at all those males.
Damn. All right, we'll move around. I guess that's it. I ain't got too much nothing else to show. I want to show all of them. I ain't gonna show all of them.
Well, I'm gonna say this. I don't know why, bro. Like every tank you show, like if you told people that you only been in the hobby for 10 minutes, they tell you was full of shit. Because you got people like that's what I be talking about.
This was a breeding tank. This was a 5-gallon breeder. I took my
show
out of it.
Look at that. Is that Louis in the front?
That's a Luigi. They grew all the way from the back. I believe it's a Reppins.
That's Reppins, bro. It's trying to get up to the top.
That's Luigi.
Yeah, it's fine.
Got the same thing, Swat tank in every tank.
That's that growth form you was talking about, huh?
That's one of them.
Look at that, Charles. See how it's circle shaped versus the other one that was scraggly? Like this one has lobes. Yeah, that looks good, man. So I guess while I was going down the stairs, I had to turn him off. I don't think he knew. All right. There we go.
It wasn't that bad. Y'all just seen a little bit of my dirty room. What y'all seen? The flow, my feet.
No, I just seen you going down the stairs in chanclas. I tried to take it, brother's keeper type shit. It's all good. Those look great.
There's a 5-gallon. They got just killifish, some dojo loaches, the blue steels, and I just had to put another pair in there. I had a pair in the 75 that was terrorizing every damn thing. I didn't.
Bro, you got an Amazon turtle magnet?
Yeah. So.
I seen Almo about that one too. Same color too.
I got it because it was orange.
Yeah, I saw that. That's why I was like, man, watch like orange. I ain't getting it.
That's another little thing. Like I said, I be getting like little gadgets, man, that I use in my tanks. That's another little moss cage.
What is that? One little plastic dome thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I got some
Pothos. I put that. Is that some more subwasher tang? Another growth form of subwasher tang you got, right?
Yeah.
And it's growing right. Is that growing on the filter intake?
On the sun
So
filter.
okay, so it's getting both. There's no detritus on it, damn near. Huh.
And the Dojo Loaches love it. I guess that's about it. I ain't got nothing else I want to show, man.
All right. Well, no, that was perfect timing because we right at 90 minutes. So
I put green water in here. This is the newest setup, the Chi.
Yeah, that's the Chi.
Yeah.
Looking good.
I just got it going, getting ready for whatever goes in it.
Mm-hmm. But no, I appreciate you coming up. Real quick.
Come on.
1 minute. Wrap it up. If you want to give a shout out, any last things you may want to add before we call it good. I appreciate you being on here, bro. Like y'all don't understand. It took a lot, and on his end, really. On me, I was just gonna keep asking, but it's all good.
Yeah, like I said, that's not even half of them.
No, it ain't.
Yeah, and then it's a lot. It's a lot. But I maintain. I work.
Right.
And I come home and I take care of my tanks.
So in total, how many tanks you got?
And then when I ain't doing that, I'm gonna spend time with the significant other.
Yep.
If I don't give her no time, I can't have. First of all, I couldn't have these if we was in the same house. And if I didn't give her no time, I couldn't have these. So,
I mean,
I gotta make time.
That ain't got nothing to do with me. I mean, how many tanks do you have for the people?
About 30 of them.
Bullshit. 30?
Yeah, I'm counting right now. I got one. Not running.
Lost you right quick. Lost him again.
How many I got running?
Yeah.
Let's see. 1.
Ballpark.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17.
The bowls and shit count too. You got to maintenance them. I don't even know how many I got.
31.
31.
Mm-hmm.
Damn. Not bad.
6 gallon, 10 gallon,
Yep,
10 gallon, 20 gallon.
30. Yeah, that's a lot.
10 gallon.
Well, Sunday is your maintenance day, ain't it?
Yep. I started a little bit this morning.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm about to do that too. I'm gonna wrap it up here. Real quick though, appreciate you for coming up. You want to add anything?
Nope.
Tell people where they can find you. You doing anything like what? Like if they want to follow you, keep up with you.
I ain't hard to find. Wattswater.
Wattswater. So Instagram, YouTube. That's it, right?
Whatever I may be.
Already, man. I appreciate you for coming up. Thank y'all for rocking with me on a Sunday for this long. We're gonna do this again. Check the homie out on Instagram. We got another show coming up soon. You'll have a blessed one. I'm out. Real quick though, let me give my shout out before I get out of here, man. Funk was in here. Shout out to Funk. I gave Funk a shout out. Rob, Renee, what's up, big homie? Brother Drew, Tommy, Mexicali was in here. Drew, Fishy Biz. Who else was in here? The homie Vibes pulled up, and Amisa. Thank you all. I appreciate each and every one of y'all. If I missed you, I'm sorry. I don't think I did though. Y'all have a blessed one, man. Watts, appreciate you, bruh.
Peace.
Peace.